This is where biblical chronology and academic chronology meet at the crossroads.
Boom, 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 boom. Now tell me what you gonna do, but it ain't nowhere to run.
The Academian's chronology has a 4.5 billion year timeline where the Big Bang and randomness initiate creation and life. Conversely, biblical chronology is fixed around 6,000 years and where creation was intended and life initiated with purpose. The polarity of these two philosophies illustrates a distinct spiritual or intellectual difference between most people on earth. Where one person may be skeptical of legend or mythology because it can be used for deception, another may be skeptical of institutionalized information because it could be used for the very same purpose. That's what makes chronology so important. And the inconsistency of Egyptian chronology cannot be ignored. The official histories and chronologies attached by the academics to ancient Egypt, as we know it today, do not even recognize possibly the most significant event in biblical history, the Exodus. The Exodus is not recorded anywhere on any temple, papyrus, hieroglyphic, or stele in Egypt. As we know, this isn't the only chronological issue with ancient Egypt. The early dynastic Stone Age placement on the historical timeline of technological achievement is an even bigger problem for the academian. Using their timeline, approximately the year 3100 is the birth of Egyptian dynastic history when Pharaoh Menes, or Memphis, aka Narmer, founded the first Egyptian dynasty, roughly 5,100 years ago. Geographically, this site was built between Upper and Lower Egypt as the midpoint between empires. Comparatively, on the other side of the world, North America shows clear archaeological proof that during these times, 5,100 years ago, contemporaneous with dynastic Egypt, it was not only thriving, but overshadowed anything in comparison that could be attributed to ancient Egypt. Following a major catastrophe that essentially destroyed, submerged, and buried civilizations from past antiquity, the charlatans were able to rebrand that history into their own history. Their timeline of history must include this guy, this guy, this guy, and probably even this guy. Not saying that this isn't their history, but it's not our history. According to their history, the only people who could have made these guys are these guys. And I don't know if you know anything about these guys, but there's billions of them. And they have yet to replicate this guy. Here goes that raven. A detail that always seems to get lost when these charlatan, aka ancient academic historians, observe earthworks from the Americas is the sophistication in which they were built. They always call them crude. Not only did a significant number of these works align astronomically, they were also constructed with symmetrical perfection. These things could not be accomplished by a crude and savage civilization. These had to be built with a supreme understanding of not just astronomy, but engineering and mathematics. Hidden within the form of construction exhibits how ingenious the masters of these monuments truly were. These earthen structures were not just piles of dirt. Many of these are pyramids that have been destroyed or covered by earth. They say the Indians had no architecture. They lived in the wilderness or on the plain in teepees or some grass hut. And the really advanced one lived in wooden shacks or mud dwarf towers alongside cliffs. Those were the advanced ones. Just mounds of dirt. They say these mounds are crude and primitive. exhibiting none of the sophistication of ancient Rome, Greece, or Egypt, instead of stating what they really are: a working timeline of world history.